Verse 18, Paul gives the only counsel that can be given when it comes to sexual sin and when you understand the gravity of it. 1 Corinthians 6:18, run from sexual sin. Run. Don't walk, run. Don't manage it. Don't control it. Don't lie to yourself and say you're going to try harder next time. Run. Aggressively run. In the military, they say with extreme prejudice. Turn from that with extreme prejudice, with a violence. Aggressively turn from sexual sin. It's the only counsel. Why? Why is it so urgent? Why is there such intensity? This is the same thing, by the way, Joseph did in Genesis 39, right, with Potiphar's wife. He's like, oh, let's talk about it. No. He's like, get him out of there. He ran. You must run. Here's why. 1 Corinthians 6:18, the whole verse. Run from sexual sin. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. What? No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. For porneia, in the Greek, sexual immorality, porneia, I was saying porne earlier. Porneia is the broadest range of sexual sin. It includes all sexual immorality, which will include your mind and your eyes. For porneia is a sin against your own body. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. Well, what about alcohol? What about drugs? Yeah, those sins affect the body. But listen, there's no spiritual union between you and the bottle. Now, is there a spiritual side to alcohol and drug addiction? Of course there is. There's a spiritual side where you're opening up your mind and your life to the effects of the demonic world to destroy you. But there's no spiritual union becoming one like there is in sexual sin. There's a sense in which sexual sins are different than all other sins. It's right here in verse 18. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. Because of that spiritual union that God designed into sex for the benefit of marriage. When you take it outside of sex, God's design to some extent is still there. There's still a union there. Is there any wonder why the enemy of your soul is bombarding you with sexual immorality, temptation every second? Every second. Every minute, every place. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, the pressure to commit sexual sin in our culture. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. When I tell parents, maybe you are a parent. If your 12-year-old has a cell phone, there's porn on it. You ought to check it. Oh, no, not my little Johnny. Oh, yeah, your little Johnny. And your friend's son, who's 13, is the one that showed it to him. And at 14, they'll start asking girls to send pictures of themselves to them. It's rampant. It's rampant, not to mention the phenomenal. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't have to describe it because you know it. Why is our culture being destroyed by sexual sin? Because of what 6:18 says of 1 Corinthians. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. So the enemy, he's not stupid. If this is a sin that most destroys, then let me focus on this sin. Because my goal is to destroy as much as I can.